you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. If you invest in the stock market, take a moment for this important advice.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You've got to stop listening to the fake business news networks because they tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear.
Phil Grande guides you step by step on investing.
You're going to know exactly what the tone of the market is. Do I sell? Do I not sell? Do I buy?
All you need to know is philsgang.com.
Check it out, philsgang.com, philsgang.com.
This message is for those of you asking the question, what do you think the stock market is going to do?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Well, you don't have to ask that question when you listen to my radio show because you're going to know exactly what the market's going to do. You're going to know if the market's going to go up, you're going to know if the market's going to go down, or the market's not going to go anywhere.
Phil Grande and philsgang.com takes the worry out of investing.
Pay attention to my show, philsgang.com. It's fun, entertaining, and you get the greatest information, especially stock picks.
That's philsgang.com. When the stock market is volatile, how do you invest intelligently?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's no need for you to be panicking in a market that goes up 800 points one day, 700 points, then it goes down again. All you need is good advice, need good direction. You don't get that from your CNBC and the Fox Business and all these crazy shows. You don't. Here's what you get from them. Thank you, Jim Cramer. But this is something this really bugs me. Listen to this.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What? Their responsibility is to their partners and shareholders and not to you? Check my site out, philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need the experience of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
What a difference it makes in your financial life. philsgang.com. It works.
If you invest in the stock market, take a moment for this important advice.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You've got to stop listening to the fake business news networks because they tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear.
Phil Grande guides you step by step on investing.
You're going to know exactly what the tone of the market is. Do I sell? Do I not sell? Do I buy?
All you need to know is philsgang.com.
Check it out, philsgang.com, philsgang.com.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing is to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
There looks to be a rash of optimism breaking out over the economy among both businesses and consumers. The latest survey from the National Association for Business Economics finds the 3-month outlook for sales, profit, and capex surging.
That's a lot of nuts.
We know that everybody's flush with cash. We know that balance sheets are in really good shape. But when they answer surveys, they are very, like almost despondent in the way they answer surveys.
You sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
They can both be medicated. Before I get into those and show you, identify what lies those are, let's talk about what's going on. I'll share with you what I share with my members. As I told you, that the stocks that were leading the market, you had to be in those early. The stocks that caused that breakout on Friday, last Friday, you had to be in those early. And those stocks were Microsoft and Nvidia. That's what really drove the market. Those two, although there was JP Morgan and GE. And of course, all four broke out the S&P. So you had to be in those. The best thing is I always tell you, just buy the S&P, and you would have been in them. But there's a problem, as I also told you. Don't chase this market. If you didn't get in before this occurred and you start chasing this market, you're going to get caught. Because every time that we have a situation like this, I told everybody, and my members will tell you, I told them in October, when interest rates were at 5.3%, and the market dropped from July to October, because interest rates were 5.3%. And then the market started to rally from October 2023 up to January 2023, and the rates were still at 5.3%. How could that be? I told them we're going to have that one last rally. They're going to create this one last rally before we either have a 5 or 7% correction, don't have another rally, or we'll go into a crash. But I also told them, watch what is going on. The same thing that happened in January 2022 in every rally. In July 2023, and even before all that, every time you peak, you get a short squeeze. Where the market makers and specialists will squeeze the people who are short to push the market up, to attract the tourist investors who don't know what the hell they're doing. They're like cattle. They're a herd. They just run. And they're the ones that's called panic buying. They get in and go, I got to get in before it goes higher. And these kind of rallies can last 2 days, 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. As long as you're in the right stocks, you continue to put stops in and you protect yourself. Just keep buying the stocks that what we call are power stocks. Give you an example. In 2024, or 23, remember, we had about 24% gain in the S&P. Now the stocks contribute to that 24%. 70% of that 24% came from the same stocks. Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla, and Meta. Year to date, right now, we have the worst breath ever. Even worse than in 2023. So few stocks that are participating in the rally. It's a death sentence at some point. But it doesn't matter. You can still make money. Don't fight the trend. Go with it. Just protect yourself. The best protection is always to make sure you buy when nobody wanted these things. Year to date, from January 1st to today, the 24th, the market's up about 4%. 4%. But only 2 stocks are pushing the S&P up this time, NVIDIA and Microsoft. Now, there's another 7 to 8 stocks that have momentum because everybody's jumping in, but the only 2 leaders are NVIDIA and Microsoft. Those are the 2 leaders right there. So how long can they keep this market going? As long as we get these tourists coming in and keep panic buying, it can keep rallying, so that's fine. But these are the stocks you got to be buying. You got to be buying the power stocks, the stocks that are making new highs. And there's some stocks that are outside of tech that are making new highs, like GE, for example. In fact, that was one of the stocks that was responsible for the all-time high on Friday. That was GE. So that is, again, and you got to follow. The other thing you got to follow is IWM, the small mid-cap stocks. That's the Russell. That's the broad base, okay, of the market. And that's like the blood in the heart. And the problem is, the first time in history ever did we see the S&P break out like on Friday to an all-time high, but yet IWM didn't participate. We've never seen that before. That's dangerous. Add on top of that, all the inflation that we're having. I mean, that's not going to help. So again, I guess what I'm saying is there are a lot of headwinds that are going on. A lot of headwinds, but nobody cares because all they know in their mind is that they're going to do rate cuts. That's what they're putting out there. That's the spin. Rate cuts, rate cuts, rate cuts. That's all you hear. And then you get the tourists jumping in like crazy people, just like what happened back in the dot-com days. Remember, the market just kept going up and up, and everybody jumped in. They wouldn't listen. Most of the people didn't get in at the bottom. So there's a lot of problems. In fact, we've never seen if you look at the economy, there's 10 areas of the economy. Okay, that's the basis of our economy. And those 10 areas are negative for months now. So if you take the 10 areas of our economy that have to be strong, have to be doing well, they're not. So there's a lot of headwinds is what I'm trying to tell you. That's what's going on right now. So be careful. So again, it's okay to be in your power stocks. If you want to join our gang, we'll show you what the power stocks are. We'll make sure you're getting in stocks that, again, are making new highs. And I mean, that's you got to be either in the communication service stocks or the info technology stocks. I mean, people are just buying anything right now, which is really just crazy. Just crazy. So that, again, as you keep watching the market go up and you keep hearing the fake business networks come on and tell you how great things are, the economy's great, everything's great, it's just not true. It's just not true. I mean, on January 1, the amount of companies that announced mass layoff, they're not reporting to you. They're holding it, they're not telling you the truth. All right, we'll be back right after this break.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard. Things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Good investing means understanding how the stock market works.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. If you really want to make sense of this market, you can't be listening to the fake Business News Network. They will not tell you the truth. They're to get you excited, to make sure you go out and you're happy so you'll buy something. That's not what we do here at Phil's Gang. We give you the truth, the direction, and that's what you need. Listen to me on my radio show each day and also on my Rumble and YouTube channel podcast. philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
The stock market is up one day and down the next. You need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I've been doing this business of trading over 55 years. God, they make it so complicated. It doesn't have to be. The best way to learn is to follow me, my actual investments. That's right. When I buy a stock, you follow me. Do exactly what I do. That's the best way to learn.
Check out the free 10-day trial. Learn more at philsgang.com.
Be my co-pilot at philsgang.com. Do what I do.
That's philsgang.com.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you start making money, please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Hey, welcome back to Phil's Gang. So again, if you're going to be in this market and you're going to chase this market, then you better be chasing it at the top. Only stocks that have no sellers, very few sellers. Now, you're also going to need to know when the smart money is going to stop buying them and when they're going to reverse big time. So you got to put stops in. And again, if you had our color-coded chart, that would help you, because I'm not just saying that, it's true. Because these charts are showing green, that means money's going in. As I told you yesterday, remember what charting is. You don't have to worry about fundamentals of a company. Nobody cares about fundamentals of a company. That all went away when the discount brokerage business came in. It's gone. As soon as companies started to buy this, brokers bought the stock first, marked it up and sold it to you. Then they'd buy real garbage and mark it up to you. Then your pension fund and your 401k, they buy real trash and then mark it up to you. You see what I'm saying? Fundamentals, were you nuts? You got to follow the money. Follow the money. And you always be right. But you also, with all this hype that's going on, as I said, last year, that 24% gain was 5 of 7 stocks. Today, year to date, only 2 stocks are participating that are making that happen, NVIDIA and Microsoft. And there's about another 5, 8 stocks behind it. It's giving you momentum, but they're not the leadership. There was 5 leaders. Okay, there used to be 5 leaders out of the 7. Now we got 2 leaders, NVIDIA and Microsoft, doing all the heavy carrying. But there's also something else you need to know. NVIDIA and Microsoft, everybody's in NVIDIA. Everybody in the world is in NVIDIA and Microsoft. But it's masking a problem. The top 10 economic indicators that all smart money follows, all Wall Street follows, they've been negative for a historic 21 months, more than that now. What are the top economic indicators? You got to have good GDP, employment, production, consumer spending. You got to have low inflation, good home sales, home building. You got it in construction, have to be doing really, really well. Manufacturing, a lot of good demand for retail sales. Inflation down. People not overextended. So those 10 economic indicators are showing negative, very negative, especially the yield curve inversion, but nobody cares. It also shows us we have a breadth crisis in the market. I just explained to you. We have a banking crisis that's going to show up in March. We have a housing crisis, productivity crisis, manufacturing crisis, new order crisis. That all comes from the 10 indicators that are negative. But they say there's optimism. Optimism. Really? How can there be optimism with all these companies laying people off? Just Rite Aid. They closed over 200 stores last year, and now they're closing a whole bunch more now. And then you got big guys that are closing. Google's laying off, by the way. Hasbro, GM, Charles Schwab, Pfizer. I can go on and on. Hundreds of them laying off, but nobody cares, because as long as NVIDIA is going up, no one cares. They're just going to keep going to NVIDIA and Microsoft. And they get on with their lives. They said we're flush with cash. Did you hear that? We were told we're flush with cash.
We know that everybody's flush with cash.
Everybody's flush with cash. You have a lot of cash, don't you? You're so flush you don't know what to do with it. Oh, wait a minute. A $100 bill just fell out of my pocket. I better go get it. How can that be when the day that Biden became president, a typical Main Street household expense in 2021 was $50,000. Since he's been in office, that's gone up to $60,000. Has someone got that raised from 50 to 60? No, I don't think so. Flush with cash? What are you, nuts? How could that be? When the savings of the bottom 68% of the population after tax deduction, after paying all their household essentials, food, gasoline, rent, mortgage, insurance, car payment, after paying all that, under Biden's presidency,
he has a negative net savings. We have negative net savings in this country. We used to average a savings of 8%. It's now negative. And is why auto credit card delinquencies have increased more than at any other period, a 15-year period. We never seen these kind of increases. So these delinquencies, both in auto and credit card, has increased more than at any other 15-year period, breaking a 27-year record. Household debt, record $17 trillion. Credit card debt, $1.1 trillion. Resulting in 62% of car holders now keeping their debt. They roll it over every month from 42% now to 62%. And it's why participation in debt resolution programs have increased 119%. Debt resolution programs up 119%. People don't know what they're doing. They're scared to death. And participation in buy now and I'll pay you later, that's up 52%. Remember where this all came from. Destroying our U.S. oil production. Destroying our pipelines. Add to that Biden's massive inflationary monetary policies. The American COVID Rescue Plan, Inflation Reduction Act, Omnibus Bill, Ukraine, wages. Even though under Biden, wages for the bottom 68% increased by 12%. Yes. And from that all-time high, weekly earnings have now dropped 5.6%. Wages have dropped 2.6%. Even a 12% wage increase is no match against inflation, higher prices. 12% is no match against home prices up 42 to 58%. 12% is no match against auto prices up 38%, or college up 38%, or gasoline up 37%. 12% wage increase is no match against 20% increase in food and meat and groceries, or rent 21%. Remember, Biden caused all this inflation that's eating up your paycheck. Remember, all the other 45 presidents before him feared inflation. So why is he embracing inflation? We'll talk about that and stocks when I get back. Phil's gang, join my gang for 10 days.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. As the new year approaches, make a resolution to challenge yourself to become the best investor you can be. Phil Grande can take your trading to a whole new level. Innovative stock market investing tools and the experience of over 50 years combined to give you the edge in controlling your financial future. As a Phil's Gang member, you're taught the essential strategies of investing using stock charts, training videos, and seminars. It's information Wall Street doesn't want you to know. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. There's nothing better than learning from the experts, especially when it comes to investing your hard-earned money.
Hi, this is Phil Grande, host of Phil's Gang Radio Show. At Phil's Gang and philsgang.com, I have one goal in mind: to help you become a skilled investor in the stock market and find your financial freedom. With the Working Investor Program, you will learn what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. You'll develop skills like selling short and how to profit, even in a stock market crash. This is the real world investing information that will give you the edge to be successful in the stock market. No gimmicks, just real strategies, and I'll make the offer even better with a 10-day free trial of the Working Investor Program.
Once you're in the gang, you're in the know. And with the free 10-day trial of the Working Investor Program, there's no reason not to give it a try.
Become a Phil's Gang member and reclaim your financial freedom. Go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
There they are. Here comes the tourists. They're jumping in NVIDIA again this afternoon. They don't know what the hell they're doing. What's great about the tourists, when they jump in and go, I got to get in, I got to get in, got to get in. Now, for us who bought these stocks earlier, we say, here, take ours. Here, you can have ours. And then all the way down, when the market cracks, even if it's a 5 or 7% correction. And by the way, you always get those. After you get these short squeeze rally, you get 5 to 7% correction, and then you rally again, and that's the one goes down, makes new lows. That's your crash. That's when the crash begins. I remember Kramer. I remember during the dot-com days. Same situation as now. We hit a peak. We got the squeeze. The herd came in. Stocks went up. And then it started to pull back. And then it pulled back about 5, 7%, and we started a rally again. And I told my members, instead of going with the rally, get ready to start shorting it. And Kramer's telling everybody, buy, right? And he was telling everybody to buy Cisco and buy all the ones that just collapsed and went the other way. It's how the market works. When everybody's going in the same direction, and when everybody thinks everybody's right, like this crazy rate cuts, you got two things going on here. You got this crazy rate cut. People are going nuts with this. Now you're hearing people, they're going to cut 10 times. And then you got the other craze, the AI craze. That's another craze pushing this market. Another craze. It's unbelievable. Listen to this.
Revenue growth is slowing down. Profit margins are coming down, but luckily stocks keep making record highs, Lizanne. It's really amazing.
Amazing. Isn't that stupid? So this guy here was on CNBC, who's a money man. He's going to tell his people, just stay in, hold, just keep holding, instead of staying, look, let's stay in the stocks that are making new highs. Let's stay in the power stocks, and let's run them as long as the money is running. And obviously, we built our own charts, so our charts tell us when the money's going to stop running. The charts come up with a warning, yellow. The candlesticks all turn from green to yellow. It gives you a warning. Money's coming out. As I said, that's all you follow today. You just follow the money. You can't follow fundamentals. Fundamentals don't apply. I mean, there's just no way would fundamentals apply. It's ridiculous. So now we got, who's this other guy here? I think this is the one. Yeah, right here.
Inflation's going to be a little bit stubborn, and so you're not going to see the rate cuts as quickly as maybe the street thinks.
Oh, wow.
What?
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's going to upset somebody. Wow. So, again, all you need to do is stay like our power stocks are NVIDIA, Meta, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, CRM, AKM, and then we have a couple of semis. NVIDIA's a semi, of course. Then we have AMD. But then we have non-tech power stocks that are doing well. Like we bought Visa. That's a beautiful power stock. Hardly any sellers around. Just makes new highs. GE is another one we bought. Now remember, I'm the one that in IR. That's a new one we bought. IR. These are called power stocks. These are stocks that aren't. Now, if a stock, let's say a stock went from 10 to 50, and it came down from 50 to 25. Now you think, why would you buy a stock that you got to get from 25 back up to 50? Those are all sellers. That's called overhang. Why buy that stock when you can buy Ingersoll, has no sellers above them? No sellers. And that's why those stocks keep going up, because that's where all the tourists start jumping in, but they only jump into 2 stocks, 3 stocks. NVIDIA, Meta. I mean, they go nuts on those two. NVIDIA, Microsoft. But remember this. Biden caused all this inflation. It's going to really cause one hell of a crash. When? I don't know. But I do know this. There's going to be a huge crash like we've never seen before. So we just don't sit around here waiting for a crash to come. We take advantage of the stupidity. Always remember, when everybody thinks you should be buying, the opposite happens. When everybody thinks you should be out, running, selling, the opposite happens. Always does. I've been doing this over 52 years. Always happens. But Biden caused all this inflation. He caused the problem. It's eating up your dollars. Remember, all the other 45 presidents before him feared inflation, because it's the biggest threat to our entire economy, our entire system of government, our national security. Biden, like Obama, like Hillary, they really didn't embrace inflation. But what they did embrace was the very, very wealthy on Wall Street. The wealthy on Wall Street, they live for inflation. They don't get paychecks. Inflation creates beautiful wealth for them. The top 101% have a minimum net worth of $111 million. They pick up about $38 million a year from their inflation, their artwork and so forth. They want inflation. The top 1%, they have a net worth about $4 million, income maybe $500,000, $600,000 a year. They do okay too with some inflation, but they're depending on big bonuses and checks. But it's the very, very top. Those are the oligarchs. They control 80% of the wealth and 90% of the stocks. 90% of the stocks. And why does Obama and Hillary and now Obama support these oligarchs? Biden, I'm sorry. Obama, Hillary, now Biden. Why do they support these guys? That's where all the money comes from. Anybody that's going to run for office, that's where the money is. Wall Street, that's where the money is. But for decades, think about this. Our average hourly compensation of your your grandfather and your father, it would go up with productivity. Remember, we're in a whole different thing right now. Whole different deal. If your grandfather and your father, when they produced, they were compensated. No more. The more they worked, the more they produced, the more they got paid. Those were the good days. That's how it worked. And the economy would grow, and the middle class would grow. Savings would grow. The purchasing power of dollars in those savings would grow. This fueled in new investments in small startup businesses, the backbone of our nations. That's where all our jobs came from. These small businesses, the entrepreneurial spirit, they were innovative, these people. They produced more patents than GE. You could have a shop on the street, small business, with 5 guys who would produce more patents than all of GE and all IBM. Why do you think how do you think Cisco grew and Oracle grew? They went and bought these small startup companies. No more. They've been killed off by Obama. And now by Biden. Because of all the regulations, make it hard for them to start new businesses, to get money. And their money's getting crowded out now. Because what are they doing? The government's offering you, for 3 months, 5.3% interest. So anybody who puts money in the bank, what are you going to get, 0.1%, 0.25%? So all the money's leaving the banks, and it's going to the government to fund the government, so they keep spending more money they take in. That's called crowding out. And that's why the middle class is dying, because small businesses are dying. It's called crowding out. The only place you can make money is the stock market, really. But you got to be in the right stocks at the right time. We'll talk about some stocks when we get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
If you invest in the stock market, take a moment for this important advice.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You've got to stop listening to the fake business news networks, because they tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear.
Phil Grande guides you step by step on investing.
You're going to know exactly what the tone of the market is. Do I sell? Do I not sell? Do I buy?
All you need to know is philsgang.com.
Check it out, philsgang.com, philsgang.com.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up, or why there's continued inflation, or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand. especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially in the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grande and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
On the one hand, we have Wall Street on this record run, but then on the other hand, we have China now actively looking at market stimulus measures, perhaps a rescue package by another name.
Yeah, by QE. So what we did on Monday, I had my members buy FXI. That's the Chinese market. And it's been getting slaughtered. And I told them that shorts are going to start covering because I knew they're going to do the same thing we do here. They're going to bail out the market. So FXI, I had them buy only my most experienced members. We did what they call a swing trade. And a swing trade is not for the average investor. Okay, we call them our 25% investor. These are people who have, they look at their statements, you know, they'll say the money they got in there, at least 25% of the money that they're working with is all coming from profits. So these are very experienced people. So I told them to go ahead and, you know, let's start buying FXI. And right now it's up about 8%. It's called the swing trade. But at some point it's going to be a what we call a Pro 2 trade, a long-term investment trade. Big short covering rally is going to come on in that. And if you want to participate with us, I'll show you where that's going to, how to get in that, when to get in it. Just join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If you decide not to stay, that's all right. But check it out. So the other day, when we had that big breakout, remember, we've been in this, when the spider broke out, made all-time new highs, we've been in that for a very long time. Microsoft, NVIDIA, JP Morgan, and GE. GE, not a very long time, but the others. So we did well with all those. So the beautiful thing about the market, when you follow the money, you're going to know exactly when the money's going to start pulling out, pulling back, and then she's going to roll over. Then you just turn your position around and you short it on the way down. We'll show you how to do that. But one thing, before I run out of time, look, the market is the best place in the world. And again, what charting is where all this information is gathered. It's all ascertained, okay, like a big sponge. Economic information, okay? Global, local, puts, calls, industrial information, all information. What a beautiful thing. You don't even have to read anything. And then the algorithms take it, and all of a sudden out comes your pricing power, which simply means it identifies for you, okay, here's where the money's going. Here's where it's going, so follow the money. Don't follow the tourists, follow the money. And we'll show you how to do that. It's not hard. But going back to what I was saying earlier at the beginning of the show, I mean, things have changed, okay? And when everybody thinks everything's great again, everything's not great again. And things are getting worse. Jamie Dimon.
I think it's a mistake to assume that everything's hunky-dory. And, you know...
And he's right. It's not hunky-dory. Because, again, this is not your grandfather or your father's market or their job when they used to get paid well for productivity. Remember what happened? When Nixon took us off the gold standard, no longer did government, for every $1 they printed, did they need $1 worth of gold. Now that was terrific because when they printed money, they needed that $1 gold or they couldn't print it. So when money increased, productivity increased. So they went lockstep with each other. Productivity, wages. Productivity goes up, more wages. People did great. People did terrific. And people then had pensions. The pensions was the glue between management and the worker because they had a promise to each other. If you give me a good day's work, I'll promise you, you'll have a great retirement. We're going to guarantee you a retirement. And that all got screwed up out of greed. The sun, the stars, the moon, all lined up perfectly. We had what they call technology boom. See, now they could sell stuff all over the world, just not in the United States. And then they were told, hey, come to China. We'll build a factory for you. You don't need to pay anybody a pension here. And if you're paying somebody $22, you can pay them here 22 cents. That's why it's such a laugh when people say, we're going to bring manufacturing. There's a big manufacturing renaissance. What are you, nuts? But that's the day when we came off that gold standard, median household income, when adjusted for inflation, stopped. They weren't lockstep anymore. No more. So today, adjusted for inflation, the median household earnings are just a tiny bit more than they were in the 70s. Look it up. Don't believe me. Today, the majority of our workers, you're earning no more than you earned in 1969. And by the way, the market, the Dow is starting to come down. And by the way, watch your VIX index. That's the fear meter. It's starting to go up. So before Nixon nixed the gold standard, there was a relationship, as I said, between workers and management called a pension. It worked out beautiful. But when that internet came, that screwed things up. As good as it was, as bad as it was. Soon Washington and Wall Street, who worked together, saw an opportunity to make more money by switching from a manufacturing-based economy to a financial service economy. And with the internet just born, they saw, wow, this is a perfect time for transition. Soon manufacturing was shipped over to China and Japan. And management told the unions to go screw. No more pensions. That bond was broken. So the next time you hear how there's a renaissance in manufacturing, they're lying. Because the only way you could get that back, a renaissance in manufacturing, if you brought that bond back with your pensions. That'll never happen. Never happen. Too much greed. So don't believe that. And what did they do in the 80s? Congress, working with Wall Street,
They allowed savings. They wrote a law to allow savings, the savings and loan banks that took care of mortgages. They allowed them to invest. No more. They'd have to just invest. No more could they just invest in mortgages, which they were doing a great job for years and years and making money. Now they could take and go into these high-risk ventures with the promise of these huge returns, technology. Well, you know how that worked out, right? We had to bail them out with $124 billion loss. Unbelievable, isn't it? How all this changed out of greed? That's amazing. Amazing. And then you fast forward from there. Soon, we're outsourcing. Next comes QE. QE was the answer to everything. You didn't need profits anymore. Profits without prosperity. Profits without prosperity. You didn't need profits for your stock to go up anymore. What a wonderful thing. All you had to do is get from the gangsters interest rates at zero. First, they had to keep the banks alive so that the Fed could print money, give it to the banks give it to the companies. So that's why the banks are being underwritten. They need them to stay alive so the Fed can print money, give it to the banks then give it to the companies give them their mortgages and their crappy garbage treasuries. And remember, the longer you keep, the Federal Reserve keeps those on their balance sheet, inflation goes up, interest rate goes up. For 14 years, they've been at $8 trillion. Those damn things are on their balance sheet for 14 years. That's why inflation is where it is today. They should have cleaned that up back to $1 trillion, but they never did. Greed, because why? Inflation is greed. The rich love inflation. So it was that QE that destroyed the middle class, destroyed wages. QE. Think about that. You could go buy a stock that had no profits. All the CEO had to do is go buy his own stock. Thank God for technology, because we can take advantage of that. Every time they're going to goose these stocks up, put money in, our technology shows us that. And you're right there before it happens. Please join our gang for 10 days. We'll reach out to you. You reach out to St. Jude. Everybody wins.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me to make